first year you had heart rate monitors?
First year we had heart rate monitors at our school. I was still coaching soccer at the time. And we were scrimmaging and we wanted to see how much time in those days we were playing quarters, 20-minute quarters. Tells you how old I am.
I did that too.
All right. Anyway, we put a heart rate monitor on our stopper to see how much time, because we thought we were doing some conditioning when we were scrimmaging. We thought that was part of our conditioning. Well, in a 20-minute quarter, he had exactly 3 minutes in his training heart rate zone.
Ooh.
Because of the time spent, believe it or not, standing, moving, but you're not, you get elevated sometimes because you make a big sprint,
Mm-hmm.
and then the rest of the time you're recovering and you're doing a standing around and positioning yourself. We were amazed and we realized that scrimmaging wasn't conditioning our athletes. We had to spend time then conditioning them.
So that heart rate monitor really made a huge difference.
Oh, big. I use them in coaching. I coached track for 40 years. I use them in coaching my sprinters.
And have you found that some students, when they were complaining, this might have been that they were really, truly, it was, they just weren't slacking, right? They were actually had some issues.
Well, in some cases, they were slacking. The students who complained the most were those students who were the athletes, because they ended up realizing they had to work for the first time in physical education classes, harder than they wanted to.
Okay.
A good athlete, to get in their training heart rate zone, has to work. And I'll never forget, I had a girl who was a soccer player, and the father argued with me, says, my daughter cannot get in her training heart rate zone. She gets on a treadmill and she runs and she can't get in her training heart rate zone. I said, well, the next time she's in a class, you have me go to that class, because she wasn't in my class. And I said, I'll see if I can't get her in her training heart rate zone. So I went to there, she got on a treadmill, she started running, and she said, see, I can't get my heart rate up to 155 beats per minute. I said, wait a minute. And I took that treadmill and I elevated it. And I elevated it up to like a level 3.
3%.
And suddenly, her heart rate got in the training heart rate zone. I said, see, you just haven't been working hard enough. And you need to understand, as an athlete, if you're not working in your training heart rate zone, you're not really conditioning yourself. That's an important thing for our athletes to understand. Just because they're moving, just because they're active, just because they're involved in a sport, doesn't mean they're conditioning their hearts effectively.
Yeah.
That's what heart rate monitors have done for me from a coaching standpoint and from a physical education standpoint.